Because my studying finish in July.
In July. Are you last year or your
I'm
fourth year?
intern.
Fourth year?
Uh,
No, you are finished.
yes,
Yeah,
I
sorry.
finished my university and now I am intern.
Yes, all right, got you. Yeah, all right. So I hope the best with that. All right, Clementi, hi. How are you here? How are you?
I'm pretty good.
All right, happy to hear that. How it's going with you?
I'm doing all right.
All right.
Yeah.
And were you a student or you were working?
I study at school.
You're studying at school. All right, got you. And what do you do in summer?
I am doing Olympiad math. And,
You're studying?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And I just walk and relax.
All right. Okay. Very well. So now, let me choose the topic. None of you watched the movie, right? I guess.
Yes.
Yeah? None of you watched the movie, right? Okay. So I have to choose something. Oh, not this. Intermediate. Okay. So let's go with this topic. Lucky encounters. What does encounter mean? Do you know?
Oh.
No? Who knows? Nobody?
It's like a meeting or something like that.
Not a meeting. When you see someone, it's not only seeing, it's like interaction between two things. Yes, some interactions that happen, or someone that sees someone else. That's an encounter. But you can also say meeting. Okay. I see Dasha here. iPhone T. Who is that? Okay. So let's start. Now we are going to read this part. But before that, what would you do? I'm asking Elena. What would you do if somebody in the street asks you for money on your way home tonight?
Tonight?
Like, for example.
Actually, I have like two variants. I will run or I just like if I see that this person needs some money, like to buy, I don't know, a ticket like, or yes, or something like that, that I will give some money.
Okay. All right. And next question from Sona. What would you do if you were driving home at night and you saw somebody who had run out of petrol?
What means petrol?
Petrol, like benzene that is used for the car to move.
Maybe I'm call the police.
No. Why? No, just someone you were driving at night and you saw somebody who had run out of, doesn't have petrol and is stopping his car in the middle of the way. Why do you call police? What do you tell him? Like,
maybe
this person...
I'm not good understand what means petrol.
Yeah, you didn't understand it. You know, it's saying someone doesn't have enough petrol or benzene in his car to...
Petrol. Benzene, yeah. I stop and give, if I have some benzene, I give him some benzene.
Okay, yes, thank you. Dasha, are you here?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm great, thank you.
All right, that's great. Now I'm going to ask you this. What would you do if you saw an old man being attacked in the street by a couple of teenagers? What would you do?
Oh, I'm going to save his life, to protect him, and to maybe to call the police and to ask for help another people. Because I'm a girl, maybe they're big teenagers.
I see. Okay. Dasha, sorry, Daria, what I forgot it. Diana?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Could you answer this question? What would you do if you were in a queue at a station or airport and someone asked to go in front of you because he or she was in a hurry?
Miss this person.
You will miss?
I don't know how to say this. Do
you allow him or you will not allow?
I will allow this person to go in front of me.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Clementi, what would you do if you okay, I have to create this one. What would you do if you were in a cold place and there was someone who was shaking and shivering like a small girl or boy? Would you give this jacket of yours to him or her?
Yes, I think I will, and maybe I will buy some coffee for him. And something hot.
Okay. All right. All of these questions that I asked you, they were all related about, was it a real situation or it was an imaginary situation?
It was imaginary.
So none of them were real, right? All of them was imaginary and hypothetical. We talked about this grammar, third conditional, something that is not real. So here, we are going to read the beginning of a true story by writer Bernard Hart about something that happened to him when he was a student. Then in pairs, we will decide what we will think that will happen after this, a story. So I would like to ask Alina to read the first paragraph. Inspector. Do you know what does inspector mean?
Like the person who checks
your
tickets. Yes,
check your tickets. That person is inspector. And also, yes, also some investigators are also inspectors. Okay, very good. Now let's start, please.
I was living in a student flat in North London when the police knocked on my door one night. I thought it was because I hadn't paid the rent for a few months, so I didn't open the door. But then I wondered if it was something to do with my mother, who I knew wasn't very well. There was no phone in the flat, and this was before the days of mobile phones, so I ran down to the nearest phone box and found my dad in Leeds, in the north of England. He told me that my mom was very ill in hospital and that I should go home as soon as I could.
Okay, very good. Next paragraph, please, Sona.
When I got to the station, I found that I'd missed the last train to Leeds. There was a train to Peterborough. Yeah.
Petersburg. Yes. Is it Russia? Is it Russia? Yeah. No, Petersburg. Yes. Okay. It's England.
Okay. From where some local trains went to Leeds. But I would miss the connection by about 20 minutes. I decided to get the Peterborough train. I was so desperate to get home. Desperate to get home that I thought maybe I could hitchhike from Peterborough.
Yes. Do you know what is hitchhike?
maybe without ticket.
When you like you want to travel to somewhere, you don't have any money, and you just show your thumb. It's a sign everywhere. If you show your thumb, somebody that is going the same way or the same direction that you want to go to will take you without charging you any money.
Okay.
Okay. So hitchhike from Petersburg. Okay, thank you. Dasha, next paragraph, please.
Tickets, please. I looked up and saw the ticket inspector. He could see from my eyes that I'd been crying. Are you okay? He asked. Of course I am okay, I said. You look awful, he continued. Is there anything I can do? You could go away, I said rudely. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Diana?
But he didn't. He sat down and said, if there is a problem, I am here to help. The only thing I could think of was to tell him my story. When I finished, I said, so now you know, I am a bit upset and I don't feel like talking anymore, okay? Okay, he said, finally getting up. I'm sorry to hear that, son. I hope you make it home.
Okay, and Clementi?
I continued to look out of the window at the dark countryside. 10 minutes later, the ticket inspector came back.
All right, very good. Now, what do you think? What will happen next?
Probably that inspector will find the way out, like how to help this guy.
Okay, what about other ideas? What do you guess? Hello? just say something. Like you can guess it.
Everything will be okay.
Everything will be all right. All right, okay. So we will see what happens. Let's listen to this part. 84. It's 9A, I guess. Where is it? Okay, I guess this one.
The ticket inspector. I was living in a student flat in North London when the police knocked on my door one night.
You read?
I thought...
The students. I was living in South Korea at the time.
No, that's one, sorry.
The ticket inspector. I was living in a student flat in North London when the police knocked on my door one night. I thought it was because I hadn't paid the rent for a few months, so I didn't open the door. But then I wondered if it was something to do with my mother, who I knew wasn't very well. There was no phone in the flat, and this was before the days of mobile phones, so I ran down to the nearest phone box and phoned my dad in Leeds in the north of England. He told me that my mum was very ill in hospital and that I should go home as soon as I could. When I got to the station, I found that I'd missed the last train to Leeds. There was a train to Peterborough from where some local trains went to Leeds, but I would miss the connection by about 20 minutes. I decided to get the Peterborough train. I was so desperate to get home that I thought maybe I could hitchhike from Peterborough. Tickets, please. I looked up and saw the ticket inspector. He could see from my eyes that I'd been crying. Hey, I said. You look awful, he continued. Is there anything I can do? You could go away, I said rudely. But he didn't. he sat down and said, "If there's a problem, I'm here to help." The only thing I could think of was to tell him my story. When I finished, I said, "So, now you know. I'm a bit upset and I don't feel like talking anymore, okay?" "Okay," he said, finally getting up. "I'm sorry to hear that, son. I hope you make it home." I continued to look out of the window at the dark countryside. 10 minutes later, the ticket inspector came back.
I wish that, like, I thought it's going to tell the rest of it, but what happened? Where is that file then? Maybe.
A question of luck? What is the question we...
Well, this file is missing. We don't know that what happens next. Unfortunately, sorry. I didn't know that this file was missing. Okay, so now after that, a story which we don't know what happens to, here, there is another story. Several people wrote in which their story about being helped by a stranger, A, Rita the student, and the angel. Let me look here to see.
The students.
Yes, okay.
I was living in South Korea at the time, teaching English. I had to leave the country and return again because of problems with my visa, so I booked a ferry to Fukuoka in Japan. I intended to change some Korean money into Japanese yen when I got there, but when I arrived, I discovered it was a holiday in Japan and all the banks were closed. I didn't have a credit card, so I walked from the ferry terminal towards the town, wondering what I was going to do without any Japanese money. I was feeling lonely and depressed when suddenly I heard a young couple speaking French. I asked them if they spoke any English, and they told me, in good English, that they were Belgian students. When I explained my problem, they immediately offered to take me around the city and look for somewhere where I could change money. They paid for my bus ticket and they took me to several places, and in the end we found a hotel where I was able to change my cash. They then invited me to join them and their friends for the evening. I had a fantastic night and have never forgotten how they changed all their plans just to help a stranger.
Okay. What does intended mean?
Wanted.
Planned. Better to say planned.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. When you plan something, you have intended that. Okay. Another word here, desperately. What does that mean? Desperate.
When you can see some solve the problem.
No.
Like hopeless?
No. When you want something desperately, it means you want that thing very much. When you want something so much, that's when you are desperate about that. Mm-hmm. Okay. So he wanted to go back home and he was desperate, right? I was so desperate to get home. Yeah? Mm-hmm. When you want something so much. All right, the second story. We will talk about that afterward. Let's listen to the third story.
The Angel. It was a cold Sunday evening in Manchester. I was a university student and my girlfriend and I had been invited to dinner with our tutor at his house 30 kilometres away. We decided to go on my motorbike, but we hadn't realised how cold it was, so we hadn't dressed properly, and after 10 minutes on the bike we were absolutely freezing. When we were about halfway there, the bike started to make a funny noise and then stopped. We had run out of petrol. We stood at the side of the road, shivering with cold and not sure what to do. Suddenly, a passing car stopped. The driver got out, opened the boot of his car and took out a can of petrol. He walked up to my bike, opened the petrol tank and poured the petrol in. He then closed the tank and got back into his car without saying a single word and drove away. We couldn't believe our luck. We sometimes wonder if the man who rescued us was an angel.
All right. So the last story. Thanks for listening. Could you tell me, please, what happened in the first story? Can you briefly tell me about that?
The girl traveled to Japan, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
and she wanted to change her money, but the banks were closed. So that's why she was really depressed about it. And then she met a couple who helped her with her problem. And they,
Okay.
I think, yeah, that's all.
All right, thank you. All right, next, who want to tell us about the next story? What happened in the next story?
A guy with his girlfriend were invited to dinner, but they weren't dressed properly, so they freezed, and in a few minutes they ran out of petrol, and so they stopped, but suddenly a car also stopped, and a guy gave them some petrol.
Yeah, okay. All right. Do you know this word, shivering?
Yes, it's shaking.
What does it mean? Shaking, yes. When you feel so cold, you shiver. Or when you're scared a lot. All right, now, which of the three stories do you think was the most surprising and the most moving? Any idea? Diana?
Third story.
Third story, okay. What about Diana?
Maybe the most surprising was story number 2.
Number 2. Why? Why do you think so?
I don't know. I just think so.
Okay, thank you. Clementi, why do you like third story? Could you tell me, please?
Because this man, he didn't say a single word. And he just drove away.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So now I want each of you to tell me, have you ever helped a stranger or been helped by a stranger, and what happened? I'll start from Lena. Please tell me the whole story, like these stories that we just read.
Help a stranger. I don't know.
Either you helped or somebody helped you.
Actually, sometimes people can just let me go like in a queue. I mean, so if I'm in a hurry, so they can let me. And I don't remember. I usually try to give some money to people who need it, like those near churches or something like that. So that's probably.
Okay, that's nice. All right. Thank you. Sona, please, you?
It's a simple thing, like helped grandmother, old people. I don't know. I don't remember.
Haven't you ever been in a really bad situation that you needed help and someone helped you? Or somebody was in a bad situation and you helped that person?
I help people in exam who pass the exam.
Wow, that's great.
It was, I think I helped them.
Yes, this is help. Sure, yes, good job.
I really answered all the questions in medicine. And they passed the exam.
That's nice. That's nice. Oh yeah, I see. Okay, good. Thank you, Dasha.
Oh yeah. Several years ago, I walked with my friend, and a girl in front of us.
You mean, sorry, you were walking, right?
Yeah, yes, that's right. We were walking, and the girl in the street, she lost I don't remember how to pronounce consciousness. Yeah, consciousness. That's right.
She lost her consciousness,
yeah, she
right?
lost. That's right. Yes, because it was really hot outside and the weather was hot. So we helped her, all the people in the street tried to help her. We called the emergency, and then she felt better. And she said, "Thank you." So yes, it was.
Okay, how beautiful! Thank you so much. All right.
I'm sorry, may I add something? I
Sure.
remember the story, Dasha. You inspired me. So
Okay.
I remember, yes, once I was also in the city center, and I saw a pregnant girl. She also like felt very bad, and her husband didn't know what to do. And I had a bottle of water, so we just like I can say water. We just put water on her hands and on her face, and then she drinks some water, and she feels
pured water.
Pured,
okay.
yes, and she felt better.
Okay, nice. Okay, beautiful. All right, next, please. Diana.
Okay. A few years ago, I with my family got lost.
My family and I.
My family and I get lost in the trip, and strangers helped us to find a way.
A stranger. Okay, very nice. All right, Clementi, you please.
Yeah, I think I have never been in such situation.
And you have never helped anyone?
I think no.
Oh, okay. All right. Fine. So now we are going to do this grammar, which is third conditional. We have done that a lot before. We have even done the game, but now we are going to do some more. So match the sentences from the story. So you have to match these sentences with these options. Alina, number 1, please.
If the inspector hadn't stopped the train to Leeds, they would have had to walk for miles in the cold.
Who was going to lead?
That guy.
So he
was have missed his connection.
Yes. Okay, good. Sona, next, please.
If the couple hadn't helped Karina, she
she would.
She would get lost.
No. She would have been alone without any money. A.
Okay.
Okay, 3, please. So, Dasha.
Okay. If the man in the car hadn't stopped, I forgot what he did. 1 second. He would have missed his connection.
No.
No.
We said that.
Oh, sorry.
No. They were two. They were two. So it wasn't one person. Two.
Yeah, that's right. It's about they. They. I can say. They would. Yeah, wouldn't be.
Yeah. They would have had
to walk for miles in the cold. Okay, sorry.
Yes. Okay, very good. Now you see all of these sentences. They are third conditional. Which one describe what's really happened, and which one describe how the situation might have been different? In these two sentences, what do you think? Which describe really what's really happened, and which one describe how the situation might have been different?
Number 2 really happened, no?
So the inspector stopped the train so he didn't miss his connection. Number 1 is, if the inspector hadn't stopped the train, he would have missed his connection. So tell me please, which one describes what really happened?
Number 2.
Number 2, right. And number 1 is the one which how the situation might have been different, right? So that's one the first one is unreal, is not real. Okay. Now let's do some more exercises. As I told you previous sessions, for third conditional, some examples here. If I had known about the meeting, I would have gone. If James hadn't gone on the training course, he wouldn't have met his wife. You wouldn't have lost your job if you hadn't been late every day. Would you have gone to the party if you had known Lisa was there? Okay, now I have one question from each of these sentences from you. I guess Elena answered, Dasha answered, Diana, please. In this first example, does he know about the meeting?
No, he didn't.
He doesn't. And did he go to the meeting?
No.
No, he didn't, right? Okay. Clementine, next, please. Is he married now? Is James married now?
Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm. And what would have happened if he hadn't gone to the training course?
He wouldn't be married.
Yes, he wouldn't have been married. Okay, good. All right, next, please. Who was next? Okay, Elena. You wouldn't have lost your job if you hadn't been late every day. Does he go to his work late every day?
Yes.
Okay, and did he lose his job? Did he lose his job?
Yes.
Okay, and the next question from Sona. Do you know Lisa? Do you know Lisa is going there in this situation? Better to say, did you? Did you know that Lisa is going there?
No.
No, you didn't know. What would you do if you knew that Lisa is going there?
Gone to the party.
Mm-hmm. You would have gone to the party. Okay. We normally use third conditional sentences to talk about how things could have been different in the past. You know, you see, in all of these situations, we are talking about how past could be different, right? For hypothetical imaginary situations. For example, yesterday I got up late and missed my train. So this is the real situation. Now I want to say how it could be different. If I hadn't got up late yesterday, I wouldn't have missed my train. This is hypothetical imaginary past situation. To make third conditional, we all, as you know, if plus past perfect. So after if past perfect, then would have plus past participle. The contraction of both had and would is did. So we write like I had known here, had known, because we have would here. And no example for would, I guess. Okay. And also we can use might or could instead of would to make the result less certain. So if we are not sure about the result, we can use might or could. Okay, if she had studied harder, she might have passed the exam. Yes? Okay, please, now let's try to match these sentences with each of these results, I can say, which each of these other clauses. So you have to match the phrases together. So let's start from Dasha, number one.
Okay. If I'd driven any faster, if I'd driven any faster, one second, I need to think about it.
Okay.
Oh, I could have got a speeding fine.
Yes. What is fine?
Fine. It's like a bill, but
yeah, it's a ticket you get from police.
Yeah.
If you don't abide the law, right? If you break the law. Okay, or the rules. All right, good. Thank you. Next, please, Diana, number 2.
Might have got the job if he'd been on time for his interview.
Interview, right? Yes, good. Thank you. Elena, next, please.
She would have hurt herself badly if she'd fallen down the stairs.
Yeah, good. All right, thank you. Clementi, next, please.
If Katie hadn't gone to the party, she wouldn't have met her new boyfriend.
Yes, very good, Sona.
What would you have studied if you'd gone to university?
Yes, good. Back to Elena.
How would you have got to the airport? If how would you have got to the airport? If the
I guess the last one.
Yeah, I thought about it, but like trains confused me.
Yes, I understand. Yeah, let it be. If the train had been on a strike. Okay. Next, please, Dasha.
Okay, Savannah. Так. If you'd warm a coat, and 1 second, you wouldn't have been so cold.
Yes, good. Thank you. Sona.
Your parents would have enjoyed the trip if they had come with us.
Okay, next, Diana.
Would you have helped me if you'd gone to university?
No. We use that.
If the trains had been on strike?
No. Maybe G, yeah, if they had come with us. No.
If I'd asked
yeah, if I had, yes, better. If I'd asked you. Yes, good, thank you. Now here, complete the third conditional sentence with the correct form of the words. Please, Clementi here. Number 1.
If you hadn't taken me to the airport, I would miss my flight.
No. In third conditional, we have would plus have.
I would have
missed
my flight.
Yes, good. Now good. All right, thank you. Elena?
We wouldn't have taken we wouldn't have won the match if the referee hadn't given us a penalty.
Yes, very good. Good job. All right. So what is the point in this sentence? You see, if is in the middle of the sentence, okay? She did it correctly. Because after if, we have had. So had should be here, not in the beginning of the sentence. In the beginning, as she said, we have would have. Yes, you have to write would have plus past participle. Then you have if, after if had, plus past participle or third form of the verb. Okay, good job. Sona, next, please.
You would have enjoyed the weekend if you had came with us.
No. Come. So yes, if you had come with us, right? Okay. Good job. Yes, exactly. All right, Dasha, next, please.
1 second. So, if I hadn't bought the theater tickets online, they would have been more expensive.
Yes, good job. Very good. All right, Diana, next, please.
Mike would have forgot his wife's birthday if she hadn't reminded him.
Reminded. Okay, good. All right, Clementi, next, please.
If the police hadn't arrived 5 minutes later, they would have catched the thief.
No, if the police had arrived 5 minutes later, they would. No, wait a second. Why is it like that? What did you say? Could you repeat?
If the police hadn't arrived 5 minutes later,
No.
they.
The first one should be positive. So if the police had arrived 5 minutes later, they wouldn't have catched the thief.
Okay.
So if the police came late, they couldn't do they couldn't catch the thief. Okay. All right. Number 7, please, Elena.
If you hadn't lent me the money, I wouldn't have been able to go away for the weekend.
Yes, very good. Good job. Next, please, Sona.
You would have hurt yourself if you
hurt
yourself if you had fell off the horse.
No. What is the third form of fall?
Fallen.
Fallen.
Yes, if you had fallen off the horse. Okay, good. Dasha, next, please.
Okay, we we wouldn't
have.
We wouldn't found.
No, we wouldn't have
we
found.
Wouldn't have. That's right. Okay, sorry. We wouldn't have found the hotel if we hadn't seen the signpost.
Yes, good job. Yes, all right. Next, Diana, please.
If I had known about the job, I would have applied for it.
Yes, good job. All right. Yes, now I guess everything is clear here and you have understood everything. I guess you are doing like pretty good in completing these exercises. Do you feel it's hard or now it's okay for you? Third conditional.
It's okay.
It's easy right now, right? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so we did this part. Communication, guess the conditional. One is okay. Here, let's do some more. Now look at the sentences 1 to 6 and think of missing verb or verb phrases, positive, negative. All right, here. Let it be Elena first.
We the hotel if we hadn't had
sat nav.
Sat nav. What is sat nav?
It's like Google Map, but it's in your car and show you the way.
Oh.
Navigator.
Yeah. If we hadn't had.
No.
What should I do here?
You have to complete this part. And I guess your sentence should be negative.
We wouldn't have got to the hotel.
Found.
Found the hotel if we hadn't had sat nav.
Yes, good. Good. Yes, please, Dasha, next.
If I had 1 second that it was your birthday. If I had known, maybe, yeah?
Yeah.
Known that it was your birthday, I would have bought you something.
Yes, good excuse. Very good. All right, next, Sona.
If I about the concern earlier, I would have been able to get a ticket. If I arrived,
if I had
come about the concert earlier, I would have been able to get a ticket.
It's not arrived. No. If I had, what verb do we need?
Maybe.
No. You have to say the verb know. If I had known about the concert earlier, I would have been able to get a ticket, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right, thank you. Diana?
The cat wouldn't have got in if you hadn't left the window open.
Okay, Clementi, please.
If our best player hadn't been sent off, we would have won the match.
Yes, okay, and the last, Alina?
I wouldn't have recognized her if you hadn't told me who she was.
Yes, good job, exactly. So I see that now you are fine. You know, this grammar, this part, okay. Now read the questions and then answer the question. Look at the some quotes. All right. So here you see some quotes. Like the more I practice, the luckier I get. You have got to think lucky. If you fall into a lake, check your back pocket. You might have caught a fish. Remember that sometimes not getting what you want is a wonderful stroke of luck. If you have 2 friends in your lifetime, you're lucky. If you have 1 good friend, you are more than lucky. All right. Now, which of these quotes is your favorite? And why? I'm asking Dasha.
I need 1 sec.
Okay.
Okay, let's speak about the first one. The more I practice, the luckier I get.
Why is it your favorite?
It is the first here, and I think that's true. If you have a lot of practice, for example, if you speak about English, the luckier you become because you feel that you become more and more fluent.
I see. Okay, very good. Thank you. Sona, what about you?
I think the last one is good. If you have 2 friends in your lifetime, you are lucky. I think most important have 1 good friend. The person who help you in bad situation and be near in a good situation, life situation.
Okay, very
Can be
good. Thank
happy
you.
for you.
Can give you a hand. Have you
Yes.
heard this? What does it mean to give a hand?
Help you.
Yes, to help. Yes, it doesn't mean that a person will cut his hand and will give you. It means that person will help you. They will give you
I think
a
the
hand.
most important have 1 person in your life who can who can help happy for you.
I see. Okay, very good. Thank you, Alina. What about you?
I like the second one. That I think that we should think positively and like concentrate our thoughts on something good. For example, every time I'm preparing for my exams, I usually tell to myself or say to myself. Tell myself that I'll pass it and I need to study harder. And always before the exam, like at university, I'm probably the most positive person there because I'm always like, I will pass, I do it. And my group mates like, why are you so happy now? You should be nervous. And I can't just, I need to, and I always say we need to think positively. So
wow, that's great. That's great.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I'm not like you. I'm like negative and very pessimistic about exams, especially. Not about everything. About other things, I'm very positive. But about exams, I'm always negative. I don't know why. And when I'm studying for an exam, I study every part because I'm afraid that they will ask a question from there or I will fail. So when it comes to the exam time, and the teacher asked me stupid questions, I'm like, I was like, it's like a miracle that happened to me, because if that teacher wanted to ask me those things that I thought of, that would have been much.
Actually, it's like a kind of life hack, because I had a course of psychology, and our teacher told us that if you concentrate on something, that this thing will happen. So if you concentrate on a question that you don't know, for example, I don't want to have a topic about environmental protection, and if I'm thinking about it, I will get this question. So that's why I was, for example, like for this my English exam, I really wanted to have a question like about stylistic or about like history of the USA, because I know it. So I was concentrating my thoughts on it, and I got a question about like stylistic question. So that's like, you can use this life hack.
Sure. Yes. Thank you for sharing your life hack with us. All right, thank you. Diana, what about you? Hello?
Hello.
Yes. Could you please tell me what is your favorite quote here between these four?
I like the last one because I think that it is true.
Okay. All right, Clementi?
My favorite is the third one.
Why?
Because people often want something, but they don't really need this, and when they not get it, they are really worried and upset, but they don't have to be upset, because sometimes they just don't need it.
Okay, I see. All right. Very good. Thank you. All right. Dasha, do you consider yourself in general to be a lucky person?
It's difficult to to say that it's about me.
Do you believe in the word luck?
Yeah, I think it happens, but not as often as I want.
All right. Okay. And so you don't know, right? You don't consider it.
50-50 sometimes. In some periods of life, yeah.
You know, I don't believe in the word luck, but if I had believed in it, I would have been the lucky one, you know, because a lot of things that happen, I don't know, is it because I think I'm always thinking about bad things that can happen and then good things happen, or what? But I don't believe in luck, but I think if I would have believed in it, then it could be different. Okay. So Elena, next, can you remember a time when you were either very lucky or very unlucky?
Yes. And again, it is connected with my exams. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. Sure.
Okay, and the situation where I was very lucky, it was last year when I had my exam of foreign literature, and we had like different periods of this literature. So, and my dean is our teacher. He is teaching us like the latest literature, so 20th, 21st century. And I prepared only one question. Like there was 30 questions, and I prepared only one, and I took this question. So I was lucky, yes, because I found only that question.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Probably it was the luckiest moment in my life. And very unlucky. Oh, actually, I had a situation when we went to Lviv with my classmates. I was at school, and we traveled by train, and there was a wind cross. So after the day after my trip, I came home and I had this second. I didn't remember ветрянка. How it's in English.
Is there anyone who knows that?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Give me a second. I'll look it up because like it is an illness when you had like small red spots and it's itching.
Chicken pox.
Yeah, probably yes. So yes.
And you get it one time, right? Only one time.
Yes.
Chicken pox. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So I had it like the next day I came home. So it was probably unlucky.
And sorry for asking, how old were you when you got it?
I was in 8th form at school.
So okay, good age for it.
No, actually, it was really hard because all like my palms and like my feet were all with these red spots, and it was awful.
Yeah, I understand, but it's I mean, it's better to get it in younger ages rather than when you get old.
Yeah.
Older,
Believe me, you're lucky. I have this disease in my birthday. I see it and I am all green. It was awful.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry about that. All right.
Yes, I wait to go to my oculist, ophthalmologist, and I can't wait here, but I wait for 2 hours, and I can see her, and I go home, and the next day I have this disease.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I see. Sorry about that. Okay. Diana, would you answer the last question? Do you know anyone who you think is particularly lucky or unlucky?
No, I don't.
You don't know anyone who's is there any? What about Clementi? Do you know?
Yes, I am particularly lucky.
You are?
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, because all things that happens to me, they always ends well.
Wow, that's nice. That's good.
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's nice. Okay, now we are going to think of some very successful people, business people, musicians, sport stars. Which of these 3 things do you think was probably most important in making them successful? Talent, hard work, or luck? I'd ask Elena to answer this.
Actually, I can't think about like one particular person, but I do know that all these business people, musicians, they mix all these three like points.
They have all of these
yes,
3.
all of these 3 points, and like hard work, talent, and probably luck, because all of them are important. Because you should be talented, for example, if it's a musician or like a singer, or even if it's a businessman, you should be talented to communicate, to express like your ideas. And hard work, you should be a really hardworking person, and like don't be lazy, and like to develop. Yes. And luck, for example, like Freddie Mercury, for example, he wasn't like the most handsome man in the world, but once he met like his future friends, with whom he created that like world famous group. It was like a lucky day. Yes. So, and he was talented and hardworking. So
nice. Okay, thank you. What about you, Sona? What is your opinion?
I think most important of them, I think all of them important, but most of them important, it's hard work. Because I know more, I know the person, he really talented, but he do nothing about his talent, and he's really lost his talent. I think only hard work can help you, and when you have some level and you have a chance, it's most important to be prepared.
Do you think that everyone can be hardworking, or you think that being a hardworking person is a talent itself?
Can you repeat, please?
Sure, yes. Do you think that everyone is able to work hard, or being a hardworking person is a talent?
I don't know. I think it depends. Depends where you grow up in, where condition you grow up.
What
condition? Yeah. If you see the bad of society life as a bad side of life, you work very hard. If you have see only good side of life, you haven't motivation and you don't work.
Yeah, okay, very good. Yes, maybe yes. Okay, good, thank you. What about you, Diana? What do you think?
I think that the most important thing is hard work, because the more someone work, the luckier he get or she.
Okay. Thank you. What about you, Clementi?
I think luck is the most important.
You think that luck is the most important?
Yes, because it's a lot of talented people and a lot of hardworking people, but they aren't famous.
How do you define the word luck? What is luck?
I don't know. It's like when all is well, when
everything is going well.
Yes, when everything is going well.
Can I add something?
Sure, yes.
For example, Joan Rowling. She's the first writer who became a millionaire. She's really hard work, and
hardworking.
Hardworking, and she had 11 times denied for publication, but she's not to give up, and
she didn't give up.
She didn't give up, and really she's work.
She works. She keeps.
Yes, I think it's important hard work, because luck, you can be lucky 1 or 2 times, but if you want to be a really successful person, you need to work for it.
Yes, exactly. Do you know how I define luck? I define like this way, that when you want something so much and you are working so hard for it, there are always good opportunities coming towards you. And when you are a hardworking person, you are actually receiving those opportunities. You are actually using those opportunities in your favor. So that's why I told you that I don't believe in luck, because I think when you are actively looking for a way to do something, you will find your way towards it. And that's so-called luck. I mean, other people call it luck, but I don't call it luck. I call it when you really want something, so that comes for you. As like Elina's prior to my speech, she said that in her exams, she's like, she thinks that the best thing happens, and as she's looking for the best things, always best things comes for her. It's like that. So the luck works like this, I guess. Okay, so here, a question of luck. Where is it? So now we are going to read this article, which is about a question of luck. I'd ask Elina, could you read this first paragraph, please?
Yes. What is a question we always ask about successful people? We want to know what they are like, what kind of personalities they have, or how intelligent they are, or what kind of lifestyle they have, or what special talents they might have been born with. And we assume that it is those personal qualities that explain explain how that individual gets to the top of his or her profession.
Very good. What does assume mean?
Assume, probably like, I don't know how to explain it.
It's like this. Imagine that I show you a red pen. Okay, I show you a red pen, but I tell you, okay, let's assume this pen is blue. It means let's imagine this is blue. However, it's red. Yes, but I say let's assume this is blue, right? And we assume that it is those personal, like we imagine or we think that this that it is those personal qualities that explain how that individual gets to the top of his or her profession. Very good, thank you. Now, Sona, please, next paragraph.
But according to Malcolm Gladwell, in his book Outliers, so we are asking the wrong questions. He thinks that while talent is obviously a factor, there are two other more important ones that make a person successful. The first of these factors is luck.
Okay. Now, please, Diana. No, yes, Diana, please, could you read till here?
Okay. He begins with the example of sports players. In recent research done on various groups of elite ice hockey players from Canada and the
Czech Republic.
Yes.
Sorry. Could you tell me, please, is there anyone who knows what does various mean? Various groups.
Different, a lot of groups.
Yes, and what does elite mean?
Elite, probably those who are on the top, like those, the best, probably.
Yes, the best, or very like I can say very smart, very keen, I can say. All right, please continue. Diana.
One fascinating fact came to light. In both countries, it was discovered that 40% of the players in the top teams were born between January and March, 30% between April and June, 20% between July and September, and only 10% between October and December. The explanations was simple. The school year in these countries run from January to December. A boy who is 10 on January 2nd will be in the same class as one whose 10th birthday is on December 13th or 30th.
Okay, thank you. Clementi, next, please.
The chances are the first boy will be bigger, stronger, and more coordinated. He is much more likely than the other boy to be chosen to play in junior teams. He will then get better coaching than the others and will play many more games. So will also get more practice. In the beginning, his advantage isn't so much that he is more talented, simply that he is older. He was lucky enough to be born in the first month of the year. But by the age of 13 or 14, with the extra coaching and practice, he really will be better than the others and far more likely to be successful.
Yes, good. Thank you. Sona? Are you here? Please,
yeah.
The extra practice.
The extra practice is vital because
means
the
very important.
Because the second factor that Gladwell believes is of great importance is in determining whether somebody is going to the successful or not is what he calls the 10,000 hours theory. This theory, based on studies in many different fields, says that in order to get to the very top, you need to put in 10,000 hours of practice, whether it's playing an instrument or a sport or programming a computer.
Okay, wow, 10,000 hours. That's a lot of hours. Okay, so what do you think? Do you believe in this? Do you agree with this article?
Yes, I think important practice.
Practice is very important. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Here, one word. We had this word, determining. What does it mean?
I don't know.
Do you know? Is there anyone who knows?
No.
I know,
Lena, what
but
about you?
I know, but I can't explain.
Okay. What about you, Alina? Do you know?
I know the translation. I don't know how to explain it.
Yes, this word is hard to explain. Determining, for example, we want to determine how long a table is. What do we use for measuring it?
Ruler or something like
Maybe
that?
a ruler, yes, maybe a ruler, okay? So by means of a ruler, we can determine how long a table is, right? Now, did you get it, Sona?
Can you translate to me, please?
It's определение.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay. Is that correct, Elena?
Yes.
Yes.
It can be like вычислять, измерять in this way.
Thanks.
Измерять, I guess measurement is better to measure. But yes, determine is different from measuring. Okay. So now, Alina, would you answer the first question? What 3 factors does he think being successful really depends on in this article?
Age.
Okay.
Also, the months when the person was born. And I don't remember the third one.
The third one, practice, was the practicing?
Practice. Yes, practice.
Okay, yes. Sona, could you answer next question? Why is it an advantage for a sports player to be born in the first months of the year in some countries?
I can't explain it.
Who can explain it?
Because those who were born on the first months, on the first or in the first months? In the first months of the year, they will be older than those who were born, for example, who were born in December. So like they were born at the same year but in different months. So it's almost like the year difference, 1 year difference between them.
Okay. All right. Yes, good. Exactly. Because those one who was born in the first months of the year, they were more like, you know, they are a little bit older, so they will enter the school a bit like later, so they are bigger and they are more prepared for it. And it was mentioned that their coordinations is better. Do you know what is coordination?
Like they're
we have the same word.
Yes.
Very good. Yes, good. So yes, their coordination is better, so they can be a better player, in fact. Okay, good. Diana, could you answer number 3?
Okay. This theory means that if you practice 10,000 hours, you will do anything better than others.
Okay, yes. All right, now we are going to listen to 2 other examples. Gladwell mentions the Beatles and Bill Gates. What 2 main reasons does he believe for the extraordinary success? Let's listen to this. 5, 6. What? My files, I don't know why for this lesson is like this. 9A. Okay.
5.6.
Apart from the hockey players, he also gives the examples of the Beatles, the most famous rock band of all time, and Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. The Beatles were really lucky to be invited to play in Hamburg in 1960. The club owner who invited them normally only invited bands from London. But on one trip to the UK, he met an entrepreneur from Liverpool who told him that there were some really good bands in that city. When the Beatles arrived in Hamburg, they had to work incredibly hard. They had to play for up to 8 hours a night in the club, 7 nights a week. As John Lennon said later, we got better and we got more confidence. We couldn't help it with all the experience we got from playing all night long in the club. By 1964, when they became really successful, the Beatles had been to Hamburg 4 times and had already performed live an estimated 1,200 times, far more than many bands today perform in their entire careers. Bill Gates's huge stroke of good luck came in 1968, when the high school he was at decided to spend some money they'd been given on a computer. This computer was kept in a little room that then became the computer club. In 1968, most universities didn't have a computer club, let alone schools. From that time on, Gates spent most of his time in the computer room as he and his friends taught themselves how to use it. It was my obsession, Gates says of those early high school years. I skipped athletics. I went up there at night. We were programming at weekends. It would be a rare week that we wouldn't get 20 or 30 hours in. So, Gates was unbelievably lucky to have access to a computer. But of course, he also put in all those hours of practice too. Talent, Gladwell concludes, is obviously important, but there are many talented people out there. What makes just a few of them special is that they are lucky, and that they put in far more hours of practice than the rest.
Okay. So I'm going to ask Clementi the first question. Where did they play and between which years? About the Beatles.
They play in London, in clubs, and it was 264. Yes.
Yes, correct. All right, thank you. Elena, next question. Where did the club owner usually get bands from?
He usually get bands from England. Like he wanted like people from England to play in his club.
Okay, Sona, how much did they have to play? Sona? Okay. Diana?
I don't remember.
Okay. Who knows this answer to this question? Clementi, do you know?
No.
Okay. So next question. How many times had they performed live by 1964?
1,200 times.
Wow, good memory. Okay, next question. Bill Gates. When did his school start a computer club? Okay, this is a date we don't remember. Why was this unusual?
Probably because they didn't know how to use computers, and they didn't have that computer clubs at school.
Yes. Okay, and what did he and his friends do at weekends?
They spend their time in a computer room.
Spend on
A computer room.
Okay, very good. So yeah, basically, right? Okay. You answer these. Okay. All right. I want to do something for next session because as far as I see, our members are the same. I mean, every session. So I want to start something interesting for next session. Is there any of you that you want to, for example, give a small, like 10 minutes lecture about a subject, the thing that you have researched on, or something that you can share with us in our class?
Like grammar topic or just...
Not grammar, but like about history, about science, about anything. Diana, would you like? Clementi, what about you? No?
No.
I don't know.
Okay, so I would like to suggest Elena, because I know that you said that you are very good at history of United States, US, right?
Okay.
Yes, that would be really interesting if you share your knowledge with us and to teach us more about it next
Okay,
session.
I can tell you about the Cold War, the Great Depression, and the Roaring '20s because I like this topic the most.
That's great.
Okay.
And do you know this? Like, there is a website, a SlideShare. Okay. And here, you can go and search, for example, US history. And then there you can find a slideshow, okay, for example, like this, okay? And then for next session, you can share your screen with us and tell us about these slides, okay? You can just choose, because I know it's so hard to make a slideshow. So you can just go to this website, slideshare.net. Okay, and then you said U.S. history. What time you said? Cold War.
It's Cold War and 20s.
20s. Maybe you can find something here. Yes, the Cold War 19. Yes.
Okay.
And then it's ready there, and you can. It's more. Oh, it's boring. But there are some good ones. You can.
Okay,
find
I'll try to find something.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll be grateful because I guess everybody will enjoy the talk. And also, I am personally really interested to know more about this. And I was really enthusiastic to know more about this, like, you know.
Okay.
You for accepting that. And everyone else, do you have any question? I mean, about grammar, about the things we studied today, no?
Yes. Can you explain what's the difference between the words big and large?
Okay. Big is used for, you can use that for everything. You can say like, this is big. This table is big. But large is mostly used for objects or, for example, cloths. When you want to measure a size of a cloth, for example, a t-shirt, you say it's large for me. Yes, it's not okay to say it's big for me. It's not right. It's too large, you can say. And basically, yeah, when you want to talk about size of something, you can use large. Yes, but when you want to talk about like if it is small or it's big, then you use big. It can be used for many things, but not for your class or like, you know.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Any other question? No question. Yes. Okay. So I hope that you enjoy your weekend and looking forward to seeing you next time. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you too. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.